Welcome to Herschy and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. A little early again tonight, I think for the last time. This is the last early show.
We're not here next week because Tony doesn't care about us. But back on September 5th, we'll be back at 9 o'clock.
That's right. So thank you for joining us early. It is Tuesday night. We're about to party. Shake those hips and twist those nips because we got a special guest tonight.
Are you hearing me, Tony, or no?
We are. I hear myself now, and I don't hear myself. I don't hear Mark. That's fine though. That's all right. We're gonna have some fun. We have a special guest tonight. We are gonna hopefully.
Hold on. Tony unplugged my mic, which
All right.
is not nice at all.
Well, I hope everyone had a great week so far because we're
This isn't a good sign.
we had a fun episode last week. Mark's on now.
You can hear me now?
Oh, I can hear Mark
right, good.
Hirschman now. Oh, fuck. I thought it was going to... No.
Good
All right.
strategy. Our guest is a very special guest who, in the world of comedy, I think that on his social media page, he describes himself as the best kept secret in comedy. And you know what? In reality, for people who don't know him or have not seen him perform, they need to because he is a wrecking machine. Aside from being a great guy who we both love dearly, he is a comedy machine, a force, and we're very happy to have our dear friend Tony Landolfi.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I agree with that best kept secret thing because I'll tell you just quickly before everything gets started. I think the first time I ever saw Tony was way before I was in comedy, way before I knew Tony, obviously, and now we're very close friends.
Yes.
But I think it was at the old downtown in Farmingdale. I think you were.
Oh,
Jimmy Norton.
yeah.
He was open with Jimmy
I was
Norton.
opening for Norton.
Yeah,
yes,
Jimmy Norton.
Yes.
And that place isn't even there. That's how long ago was it? And
how
I
long
remember
ago.
seeing Tony there.
Yeah.
And I was a fan before we were friends or coworkers.
Oh, stop. You're going to make me blush.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm always interested about, because I follow the path of least resistance, and I perform as little as possible.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tony is a headline caliber type of stand-up comic. And at least from my knowledge of you, Tony, you took a path many years ago where you were going to remain a career guy, so you have a regular day career.
Yeah.
And at any point, and I only know you for going on 13, 14 years, but you've been doing this a lot longer than that. Mm-hmm. Was there a time where you said, I'm going to be a full-time stand-up and not work, or this has always been your path?
It was kind of hard to make that decision because I've been on my own since I was 18.
Okay.
So you can't pay rent and try to hit open mics and stuff. You have to have the job. And then for a brief while, I did try it. And I was like, all right, screw it. Because I had got laid off from a job I had. And I was like, you know what? I'm a comedian now. Stand-up comedy, blah, blah, blah. And that ended up getting me... homeless. So
Okay. That'll do it.
So you were really a full-time comic then if you were homeless.
And I'm not, that's not a joke. I was homeless. I was living in, I had a Mazda B2200 pickup truck I was living in.
Shit.
And once that happened, and I was still like, oh, I'm going to make it.
Yeah, I'm
I'm an artist.
And so what year are we talking right now? We're talking early 1990s?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like 93.
Okay. So you're out of high school now for only...
I graduated high school in 89.
Me too, yeah.
Okay. So I was out of high school for, like four years or so.
Okay.
And then I was like, it got to a point where I hadn't eaten for like 2 days.
Shit.
And I was sitting in my truck. This is really messed up. And old lady's walking by. And she's got one of those, how the old lady carts, they're metal, got the two wheels on them.
Yeah, I have one.
Behind.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's pulling the cart, and she goes past me. And so I get out of my truck, and I start walking behind her. And my goal was to give her a shot, grab a purse, and take off. And, I just stopped myself, and I was like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? What are you doing?
You can get the purse without giving her a shot.
And, and at the time, my mom and my stepfather had moved upstate with my little brother. They were living upstate. I stayed on Long Island. And I was at my lowest point, and I called my mom, and I was like, I need help. And she said, yeah, come on up here. So then I took a break from comedy, went upstate, and hid in the mountains for a little while.
So when you say a little while, you talking a couple of months, or you were there?
About a year.
Wow.
Yeah, about a year.
Son of a bitch.
I just stayed away. Nobody saw me or heard from me. Very few people. Yeah. And, and then I came back, and when I came back to Long Island, I didn't go back.
What the hell is this?
What the hell is going on over here?
Oh, boy. What do we got here?
I didn't know we had waitress service.
You make Joe Fridella's here.
This Joe Fridella.
Holy shit! What is this all about?
Oh my
Listen, I
god!
heard you guys talking about me in the business last couple
Yeah,
weeks
absolutely.
ago. I got to experience it over at FinFest, so I figured I'd come by and give you
Whoa,
this guy.
Whoa. Joe Fridella from the Lemon Life is here.
Mike, I remember what you
Thank you
ordered
very
last
much.
time.
Yep,
Blue for Tony over there, right?
So
Also
just
brought you
a.
strawberry.
Oh wow!
Whoa, look at that.
Holy
And there's
shit,
yeah.
dude! This is
That's
unbelievable.
nice. Thank you so much.
This is awesome.
Joe,
Quick,
grab a headset real quick over there. Throw yourself. Is there a headset right over there,
in
Tone?
case
There is on the couch there.
Right on the couch. Just grab it and talk.
in case anybody didn't hear the episode, a couple of weeks ago, we did FinFest in Island Park, which is a comedy and music festival, and they have vendors there because they have food trucks and everything. And Joe has the Lemon Life. It's his company.
Life.
They're a lemonade food truck, and they set up at all the festivals. And he was one of the vendors there. And I know Joe from the neighborhood. He's a neighborhood guy. And I had some of the lemonade, Juliana and Carla, and it was friggin' awesome.
Joe, you can speak into at least the mic, even if it's tied up over there.
Right.
Can we hear him if he's talking into it?
Yeah.
So like I said, I saw Mike a couple weeks ago. He performed. I actually got to see his set. Got to meet his family.
And he still came.
So hold on.
It got crazy there about 8:15. Thank you.
I heard.
This is some freaking surprise.
There was a storm after I left. There was a storm. Some of the show was still going on, but they were all still set up. Storm came through, caused a lot of damage.
That was God giving you the light.
I know exactly. Get Keegan the hell out of here.
Can we go back 20-something years? You and Joe went to high school together.
We're not going to get into that.
We're not going to get into that.
So the girl
Okay.
might be watching.
So we had
Exactly.
we talked about the Lemon Life a little bit, and you took it upon yourself to bring some Lemon Life shaken lemonade to us, which was super cool. So for anyone who is, this is like a little pitch now for Joe Fridella. He has his new company, the Lemon Life, shaken lemonades. He does private parties.
Do private parties, block parties. Right now, we're gearing up for the start of school. I know a lot of kids don't want to hear that.
Yes.
You got homecoming games. You got PTA events.
Yeah.
You can find us every Friday night behind the flea market, just on the other side of the shed.
You can find Mark behind there also.
That's
but for
exactly
different,
right.
Different
Yeah.
reasons.
Different reasons why I'm behind the shed.
Well, when you see the food trucks, that's when you know I'll be there.
If you give,
The other guy, I think he's the one that lives in the corner, right?
Exactly.
yeah, so if you give Mark $20, he'll give you a shaker.
I'll shake your lemons.
Up for you.
I'll shake your lemons for free.
But yeah, definitely. If you're having a private event, any kind of barbecue, and like I said, homecoming's coming up. Any kind of end of summer party.
Dude, that was really nice of you, dude. Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate
Really
you guys
good.
talking about it.
And
a couple
yeah,
weeks
man.
ago.
This is awesome. I get the sugar free because
Yeah.
I
Just good
have
stuff.
my little sugar
I
issues.
think you marked
Yeah.
it as pledge.
Exactly. That's right.
Oh, that's right.
He called it pledge. It's delicious. I love the lemon flavor. It's so fresh. You got the what?
I got the
Strawberry.
strawberry lemonade with the container of Chinese soup. I love these cups. This is fantastic.
Tony's got the blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry,
Yeah.
delicious. Absolutely delicious.
For anybody, you guys can hit up Joe Fridella on Facebook. Is there a contact page on the
it's
Facebook?
Actually, it's Facebook, The Lemon Life.
Yep.
Instagram, it's The Lemon Life 23.
Nice.
And then you can email us at The Lemon Life 2023.
I love it.
Excellent.
All right, guys, you heard it. Joe Fridella came by to drop us some lemonade. It is delicious. We give you our word on that.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
is.
brother, for popping
Guys,
by. We
thank you. I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it, man.
Nothing
And
better
if you
right
guys
now.
need to, you can reach out to us also.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Dude,
Joey.
this is really
Great seeing you,
delicious.
brother. Thanks for coming
Yeah,
out.
I love it. Thanks,
Take
brother.
care, man. Thank you.
Wow,
Take
what
care,
a
buddy.
nice surprise.
That was
Look at this.
phenomenal.
Yes, that was
so
very
delicious.
nice.
Look, the straws are hearts. I don't know
Really
if anybody
nice.
noticed. They're little hearts, these
Oh my
straws.
God! I have a heart on
You
right
had a
now.
heart on.
I have a
So
little,
good.
little heart on.
I got to be honest, that guy scared the shit out of me.
Me too. Yeah, yeah, me too. Yeah.
You can see this
Yeah.
big dude with a giant beard.
I didn't know why ZZ Top was here to see us. I was
giant
concerned.
biker. Here's some delicious
Here's
lemonade.
some lemonade I made for you, fellas.
You want strawberry lemonade or you want blue raspberry?
I squoze it myself.
I almost wound
Your
up
boys like lemonade.
I almost wound up under the table just now, and not for the lemonade.
I thought he was going to say, "Now you can't leave."
Yeah.
Instead,
Oh,
it was, "Have some lemonade."
Really
That is
good. Thank you, Joe
delicious.
Fridella.
Excellent.
And again, if you guys want some lemonade for your parties, private gigs, or just to sit around the house, you can reach out to Joe Fridella of the Lemon
I
Life.
think we get to keep this too.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah,
look at that.
Good. I could use some Tupperware. Okay, so that was awesome.
We're going to make ice cream sundae.
We're gonna do that later. Tony, I have to tell you, Tony
Yeah.
Landolfi, not Tony Walker, that so you're telling us about this homeless story, which
Yeah.
to me, again, just knowing you.
When life hands you lemons.
End the show on that note. Get Keegan out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
So after that, when I came back to Long Island, I was just working, and then it's like a drug. It just you can't stop doing it. And then I got back into it, and but always the day job was always number one because I was never going to be homeless again. It was
That's
never going to go
right.
back. And now
Exactly the point that I was going to
I'm
make.
a homeowner, so that's pretty cool. And I've told everybody when I bought my house, I told like all my friends and my family, and I was like, "You ever get in that situation? I have a room for you.
That's it.
I'll find some place to put
yeah.
you. Like, you will never have to sleep on the street. Just
Exactly.
you know,
Did I just get a door banging again? Is someone else delivering us pizza? What's happening
listen.
here?
He's back for his Tupperware.
So I want to kind of dig a little bit deeper, but
Yeah.
my first response to that is just from what I see, how close you are with your dad, at least.
Yeah.
Why did this happen? Why didn't you just move in with dad at the time?
because pride is the most deadly of the 7 deadly sins. I couldn't go to my dad.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
Goes that. Welcher.
I couldn't go to my dad. I was too embarrassed.
Okay, but
My dad, you have to understand something. My dad,
old school Italian.
my dad's from the other side. He was sharecropper olive farm. The guy's been working since he was like
8.
8 years old.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
No, I'm not
Like,
joking.
He's been working since he was like 8. He did everything he could to make sure that our bills got paid, food was on the table, everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So to come to him and be like, I have nothing because I'm trying
to do this.
to do this ridiculous job
Mm-hmm.
for a living, and I'm trying. I couldn't face him. Now, in all honesty, if I went to my dad and I said that to him, he'd be like, "All right, come on in, this, that,
Yeah.
and that's it." But I couldn't.
You
couldn't.
also have that
So
Italian pride.
your dad's old
Yeah.
school, off the boat. When did they get divorced? Because that doesn't sound
My parents?
consistent usually with.
Well, it's my mom. She was the one who
Okay.
divorced my dad. They got divorced. I was like 12.
Oh shit!
When
Okay.
they got
So dad
divorced,
remarried or no? He was.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
My stepmom, she's fantastic, and they've been together.
Talking 40 years probably by this point then.
No, how old? You think? I was 12 when he
right,
got
so-
married, when I was like 18. So they've been
Okay.
together but they've been together since I was like 15.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's 37 years.
It's like 30 something years. Yeah.
What are you fucking kidding? 40 years? You fucking Jew?
Yeah, round up,
sorry,
Jew.
sorry.
Fuck you.
3 years off. I apologize.
You Jews usually round down, not up. So,
Okay, they've been together that long.
she's great. She's Sicilian.
Okay.
So the two of them get along good because it's the whole culture thing.
Yeah, I don't think
and
I ever
everything
knew
like
this
that.
part of the story. So you could have moved in with them. You had the pride thing.
Yeah.
You disappear into the woods for a year.
Yeah.
You have time to think and
Yeah.
write and come back.
I didn't write a goddamn thing while I was out
nothing.
there.
You wasted
Nothing.
time.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I was driving a tow truck.
Okay.
And just
Getting out of a situation.
getting out of it. I was the good thing about locking yourself up in the woods is driving a tow truck, you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You have no place to spend it.
Right.
So you're just shoving it and shoving it and shoving it. And then when I got done, I had a nice chunk of change for myself. And so that's when I came back to Long Island.
So you came back, and then you eventually landed into your automotive career,
Yeah.
which you've been involved with since then.
Well, I've been doing the car thing since I was like 15 years old. It's
Okay.
been-
Wow.
That was actually not the road intended. I actually wanted to be a marine biologist.
okay.
But
George
I
Costanza?
couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the money for tuition, And I did not know about student loans back then, which now, hindsight, thank God.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
it because I think we just finally finished paying Karen's, my wife's student loans off last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Unreal.
Exactly.
And so that was the path I went, as automotive. And I make a really good living doing it and everything.
You
like
own a
that.
home, dude, on Long Island.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
But
a
that's the
victory.
thing in the back of your mind. It's just I never want to go back there again.
Yeah,
I want this
that's-
steady job. I want that security.
So I could have, at one point, it was... Tony Landolfi was actually very sought after by a lot of people.
I believe it. Totally, I believe it.
And a lot of them were like, just, it's time to cut the cord and just take that step and everything. And I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could. There's times, like, there's guys that I came up with that they're doing it full time and everything. And I looked and I would get jealous, but not jealous because they were doing it, but because they had the nuts
to do it.
take that chance.
Yeah.
But majority of them were like living with their parents still and stuff like
Right.
that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah, I never wanted to. I never had the balls to just quit my job.
Yeah.
I like having a job. I like
I like knowing that.
I like not living
every
in a shit-
Friday. There's a deposit going
Yeah.
into my bank.
I don't know any 40-year-old comics living with their parents.
with a full time job.
With a full time job,
Yeah, you must be fucking rich as fuck, dude.
full time girlfriend.
Keegan's got until Keegan had a baby with Carla, or Carla had a baby and
Oh
they
my
gave
God, I
it to
used to
Mike.
have money.
You must have been so fucking rich.
Dude, I used to have a
Wait,
lot of money
what?
before.
Well,
Well, we have the little one. We have Juliana. The little
Yeah,
one.
but that's not. That's Carla's
But I,
daughter.
well, but
it's
I'm
Mike's-
still the.
Mike kind of is the.
I'm still the ATM.
Yes.
Oh, you're great with her. I've seen
Yeah,
her.
no,
Yeah, that's
they're
his
the-
daughter
they're the
now.
best.
Wait,
And
so you
that's
guys haven't moved in together yet?
No, I don't think we'd kill each other. But
It might have been. I mean,
you know what it is? It's her mom's house. Her mom lives in Colombia. I want to get our
Oh,
own. I want to
okay.
get our own.
You want to
place.
get your? Yeah, I understand that.
So,
in
I
the
understand
future,
that.
Mike's thinking 15, 18
Yeah,
years
15,
down the
18
line.
years. When when I'm collecting Social Security, that's,
You might settle down.
exactly.
The bottom line is the Keegs and Carla life works right now.
It is working right
It's
now.
working.
Hey,
So,
listen.
yeah.
If you're both happy and if it's working, then God bless. And,
Yeah,
and
Well, we
just
didn't
do
say
it
they're happy. You just said it's working.
as long as
You
you
said
can.
it's working.
Sometimes
Yeah,
you
no.
need that separation.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I mean.
exactly. I drive her nuts. Like she drives me nuts, but I really piss her. I really get on
Yeah.
her nerves. Like
But the truth is, when you guys are around each other, you love each other. That baby is well adjusted.
Yeah,
she's a good
There's-
kid.
great kid.
There's a like, what do you do that you know it's gonna get her riled up, and you're like, I'm gonna do it.
When she gets mad, I make jokes.
Oh, okay,
I know,
okay.
like when
God.
it's so cute. You're so angry right now. Oh, my God, because she loves being mad.
Yeah.
She loves being pissed off. She
Yeah.
loves the drama.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I just
That's that whole
yeah.
Latino thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's my whole thing, and then I'm just a clown. And
Yeah.
Well, Mike has always loved riling up Colombian women. This is just a different situation.
exactly
How you
Yeah,
used to
that's
do
right.
it.
Yeah.
I have with my wife. Well, she's got a couple, and she's got two pet peeves that just she doesn't close anything.
Oh, jeez.
She doesn't close the door. She doesn't put the cap on the bottle. She just and it aggravates me.
Yeah.
And she will not put the toilet paper on the roll. Like
Oh,
new toilet
man.
paper, she'll just lay it on top of there. And I go, why didn't you put
We
it on
have
there?
that all. Yeah.
How could you do it better than me? It's toilet paper. It doesn't. So then what I do to get back at her is I don't clean my body hair out of the tub when I'm done showering. And then she's like, get in.
Landolfi wins.
Drive her nuts, yeah.
No, Landolfi loses. And I'll explain to you why. Because
Yeah.
now I've done that. So then, like, this was the other day. I'm sitting watching TV, like got done showered, everything.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting watching TV,
Relaxing.
little bit of chips and hummus. You see, and she comes in and sits next to me, and she has nothing on but her drawers.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
here we go,
Showtime.
And she's like, no, we're not doing that. What are you-
I know.
And I'm like, wait, what?
What?
What? And I go, why are you like this? She's like, I got so hot cleaning all your body hair out of the tub. I had to cool off, and I'm like, why are you doing it, man?
Oh,
Checkmate, Karen.
Checkmate, Karen.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what they could do. That's how they will always win.
They'll always win.
Yeah.
To be happy, you need to realize that early that they're gonna win.
They're always gonna win.
Yeah, so we're not going to deep dive into it, but this is.
But you never have issues.
No, there's no issues in my situation. Everyone's perfect. Everyone's
Yeah.
happy. There's no fighting at all. 29 years together.
That's right.
24 years married.
Wow,
We're good.
really?
Yeah, man.
Good for you.
Yeah, we're doing okay.
Good for you.
But so this is you've obviously been a much happier person for the last how many years you've been with Lady Karen. You were married another time previously. Yeah. This is you're a different person now.
Yeah,
you're living a different life now.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, and did you ever think you were going to have that second chance when the first thing came to an end? Did you just came out of nowhere, left field?
What, my divorce?
No, the new love marriage.
No, it's the new thing. No. I didn't think ever in my life I would be at a point. I don't even think I'd be alive this long.
Yeah.
But I didn't think in my life ever I'd be at a point like this. I figured I would always be either living in somebody's basement or
scraping by, miserable,
scraping by and just being whatever. I was like, I'll never own a house or anything like that. I'll never have a new car or anything like that and everything. And it just changed completely. It was because I was lucky enough to fall in love with somebody who actually knows how to manage money, because I'm terrible. I was the worst. Like, savings was just money I haven't spent yet. Like, there was nothing
exactly.
needed to save for.
Hanging on for a little
I know guys like you, that's just instinctive. It's like the
Jewish people.
Yeah, the lion knows how to get the gazelle. The Jew knows how to say, save money and budget.
That's actually what when you're doing the Hebrew prayers in your bar mitzvah, you're talking about how much money you're going to be able to profit on.
Brachata, that means save.
Yeah.
I keep knocking this
No, it's all right. Tony will get it. That's
anyway,
doing a great job.
So with Karen, Karen used to be bartender at McGuire's before came into the Governor's and became awesome.
Yeah.
She used to be the bartender there, and I always, I used to sit and talk with her all the time, but I always was. I was always attracted to her.
Very attractive woman, great personality,
and. When I was separated from my ex-wife, I talk about sucking down your price. So that when I separated from my ex-wife, I actually did go to my dad and I was like, I need a place to stay.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, all right, come on. So, he let me stay. It wasn't long. It was maybe about 6 months, but I was out of it.
Yeah.
And I was separated probably about like 3 months. And we were sitting, I did a spot at McGuire's and I was sitting there talking to her and everything. And, like, comics used to ask her out all the time. And she told them all no. And then I had a few in me. And I wish I could
comics?
Yeah, a few comics. I had, like, 4 pints of Jack and Coke in me. Yeah. And I said, I forgot which comic it was. And I was like, I'm going to go ask out Karen. And he was like, yeah, good luck. That's not going to happen. And I was like, why? He's like, look at her and then look at you. And I'm like, That's fucked up.
That's hurtful. That's hurtful.
And so we were talking, her and I, and we were just bullshitting about, because like I said, we used to always talk all the time and stuff. And then I just looked at her and I was like, you want to get dinner with me one night? And she was like, yeah, that'd be great. And I was like, all right, thanks. And I started walking away. And then I stopped and I was like, wait, you said yes. And she was like, yeah. She was like, I'd really like that. I was like, holy shit. And we went out, and then, like, you're supposed to wait 3 days. Well, I didn't. I called her the next day.
Yeah.
And we hung out that night, and it was just, like, every night.
That's awesome.
After that, yeah.
Did she say that she was, like, into you before you asked her out and stuff? No, not at all. It didn't even cross her mind.
She told me later on that, like, she was always attracted to me.
Okay,
But, like, I had no... She doesn't let you know. She had no inclination whatsoever that there was anything. I was just, if I wasn't half drunk and just like, I'm going for it.
Thank
like,
God for Jack Daniels.
Exactly. Yeah, see?
Thank God for alcoholism. That's so good. Yeah.
I'd like to thank my parents. I'd like to thank God. And I'd like to thank Jack Daniels.
She was married beforehand?
No. Wow. I'm her first husband.
Isn't that something?
Hopefully the last.
And you guys have been going strong now for what seems like a whole shitload of years.
14 years together. Jesus.
Yeah.
13 years together.
17 years together.
Karen. Her name is Karen.
The lawsuit's all done with.
Wait, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's 14. This is anniversary 9 coming up. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Anniversary number 9.
I was there the night you guys got engaged.
That was the first bash.
Yeah, the first backyard bash.
That was when we did it first. So we bought the house in June. 10 years ago. We bought the house in June. And we had the party in September, and in front of everybody, I proposed to her in front of all my family and friends and everything. I proposed to her.
I got there a little bit, like 5 minutes after that. Like I just missed it.
Yeah.
I pull up to Tony's house and I see Dan McCarthy in the driveway.
The parkway? He was just driving around the parkway?
He was
Hey,
crying.
Mike!
Dan McCarthy's crying in the driveway. I'm like, Dan,
Yeah.
what's that? What's going on? He said, he asked her to marry him. He asked
Yeah.
him. I'm like, oh, all right. I thought something
He was
wrong.
upset that it wasn't him being
No,
asked.
he was
He
crying.
was crying in
Does
the
that
driveway,
shock
yeah.
you? The great Dan McCarthy?
I can't.
He's an emotional lad.
He's an emotional guy.
What?
Exactly, Tony.
That's what was playing after she said yes. That's what started playing.
Dude, that's outstanding.
Yeah, and going strong. You know, all this time, never had a fight.
And you're happy as hell. You're happy as hell. And now has she...
They had a fight, but there's withholding of sex.
I'm
Let's
kidding
just say
you.
you decided to be road comic where you were gone Friday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Connecticut, Jersey, Pennsylvania, something
Yeah.
like Mike does. Would that be something that you'd be okay with?
Yeah.
Really?
She knows that. The good thing is she knows how the business works.
Yeah.
So she knows what comes up, and it gets me out of the house and away from her.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean?
appreciates
I'm
that.
the one who's like, I don't want to go away and be away from her that long.
Right.
I can, you know? It's
I'm the
just-
same exact way, too.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back home.
So how much are you doing that still? Are you still doing a lot of road gigs?
Not really.
No?
I do not big road gigs. Like I'm not going out to Indiana and Ohio and stuff anymore.
Right.
But if it's like Connecticut, PA, Jersey,
Oh, so you'll still do those weekend
Massachusetts.
gigs?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'll do those. That's not a problem. But if it's one where like when I used to do crackers out in Indianapolis, like you got to drive all that way out there,
Right.
and then you're there for you got to work 3 days because it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday,
Right.
and then you come home and it's just
And it fucks with your career job, your day
Exactly,
job, and
there's nothing to do either. Like
Yeah.
you're in Indianapolis, there's really not much to do. So you're just like sitting in a hotel room and just like man.
but a gig at a room that you're used to in Connecticut, PA, Jersey,
Yeah.
you can do that. Come home on Sunday.
Yeah, and there's no problem. Yeah, like I said, it's good. She does whatever she wants to do. Sometimes she comes with me if we don't have any kids or nothing. So the only thing we
Right.
got to worry about is the dog.
Right.
And so all I need is somebody to go to the house and feed the dog, and that's no
Right.
problem. And my fish, and that's no problem. So there's times where I'll be like, I gotta go up to PA this weekend. You want to come? And she'll be like, yeah, I got nothing planned. Let's go. And then, so we'll go up to PA, and that makes it better because then afterwards, like we'll go to the bar or something.
make a
and then
weekend
during
out
the
of it
day,
also,
you
yeah.
can do some stuff. She is great for finding obscure roadside attractions.
Really?
It's really crazy. Like we were driving.
Not the kind that you like, Mike.
Not the
Oh, okay.
Different.
like
Well,
we,
me too, me too.
No.
we were
That's
driving
on
down
the
to Jersey.
back of the side road.
We were driving down to Jersey one time. We just get into Jersey, and we're going down the park, and she's like, "Get off this exit." And I go, "What are you talking about? We're nowhere near
No clue.
where we have
Yeah.
to be." She's like, "Just get off this exit." So we have this exit, and she's like, "All right, turn here, turn here." And I go, "What are we doing?" "We're going to see the world's largest medical bag." Okay, and we go, and there it is, the world's largest
Yeah.
medical bag. And I
So
was like,
there it is.
okay, and like took a picture with it, and then all right, let's go. And then like we went another, and then she's like, all right, get off here, we're gonna do it. And I go, what are we seeing now? This is the world's the country's largest Virgin Mary statue.
Oh, wow.
Like this giant statue of the Virgin Mary. I was like, oh, okay.
It's holding a giant medical bag.
Yeah, holding a giant medical bag. So she's great at finding all those things.
Lady Karen,
Yeah.
huh?
So like my brother, when he lives in Texas now, and he came up one time when him and his wife were driving out to Texas. She mapped out the whole thing for them. And she was like, hit here, hit. And it wasn't that far off the beaten path.
Yeah.
It was all these she had stuff from my driveway to where they had to go. She had stuff all picked up. Go this one, this one, this one, this one. And it was all this cool shit to see. There was stuff like in my neighborhood that I didn't even know was there. Like there's a giant totem pole around the corner from my house. I was like, where did you find this? She's like, what do you mean?
That's awesome. That's good
Yeah.
to have somebody like that. You know who's good at the attractions you were talking about that I like to go to is Richie Byrne. knows where every strip club is. And like, I swear to God, like in the United States. And not even joking, like I've been on the road with him, and he'll be like, "All right, there's one over here." But I literally and there was even another comic would be like just bored in Pennsylvania or something.
Yeah,
like, Richie, this is where I am. Is there any strip clubs nearby? And he'll tell you the left, the right to make. He knows where everyone is.
He's like Google Maps for strip clubs.
100%. And he walks in there, and he knows them all over.
Oh my God.
All over the country.
Hey,
That's
Peach.
crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I went on the road. I'm not bragging, but I went on the road with JJ Boyd when he was in it, and every town we went in, he knew where the Chinese buffet was. He knew, like, we pulled into it, and he'd be like, "If you go up this road like another half a mile and you make a left, the Chinese buffet." And I go, "Have you been there before?" He goes, "No." No, he just knows.
He knows
where the Chinese buffet is because he's Jewish.
Yeah,
he knows.
That's true.
Yeah, you Jews like the Chinese.
I haven't heard from that around.
No, he got married.
Passed away.
Yeah.
Did he really?
No, he didn't pass away.
Sorry.
He got married.
Did he really get married?
Yeah, he got
Oh,
married.
shit.
Nice girl. She's a wonderful girl. I've met her a few times. And when the pandemic hit, he was one of those people that was just like, "I'm not leaving the house ever."
Mm-hmm.
And he just locked himself down and hunkered down. So now he's in the process of doing, I don't know, he's got some things in the works. Last time I spoke to him, he told me. So
Nice.
yeah.
So when you started, who were the guys that you really? It was around George Gallo time, Keith Anthony time, I think.
I was when I first started. So here at Governor's on Tuesday nights, they had a showcase night. So if you were new and upcoming comic,
Yep.
you would come and put your name. They had a list. You would put your name on a list.
So like a Mike night, but different.
Yeah, but you there was no guarantee you were getting up.
Right.
You hope you got picked.
And it wasn't a bringer or anything like
It wasn't
that.
a bringer. They had an audience there.
Yeah.
Peter Bales hosted it.
Yep.
Now, at that time, I hadn't met Bales, but I had seen like 4 of his TV spots.
Mm-hmm.
So this comic that I was coming up with, her name was Patty Vitale. May she rest in peace. And she was like, "Yeah, come on, Peter Bales." And I was like, "Wait, Peter Bales is there?" And she's like, "Yeah, he hosts." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I went there, I met Bales, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Peter Bales." Like, "I just saw you on Stand Up Spotlight."
That's fucking awesome.
And so we used to do that all the time and go hit different. We would do that, and up in Huntington was a place called Fast Eddie's. So you would leave here because Fast Eddie's had a show, but it was late. Their show was at like 11. Yeah. So you'd do this, then you'd shoot up to Huntington, do Fast Eddie's, and then get all messed up and then go home and try to get up for work next day because it was on a Tuesday. But one Tuesday we were here, and guys that were headliners would stop in like to test new stuff and everything. That's how I met Kevin James. Is how I became. That's how I got to know him. And one day everybody's talking about this guy. "Oh, he's coming down. He's going to do some time. He just called on." And I was like, "Who is this guy coming? That's coming to do?" And like, "Oh, this guy, Joe Rogan. This guy, Joe Rogan's coming." And I'm like, "Who's Joe Rogan?" Because I was like maybe 2 years in at the time.
And he was a Massachusetts guy originally.
Yeah, but he was already down here, established and stuff like that. And they're like, "You don't know who Joe Rogan is?" I was like, "No." And they were like, "You got to watch him." So he came in. And like you said, everybody was a buzz about him. And I was like, I'm saying to myself, like, why is everybody on like Jim Gaffigan just walked out the door? Like,
right.
Okay. And he went up, and I was just, like my jaw was on the floor. He was just, not only was he funny, he was animated, he was smart. It wasn't, it was all his stuff. And then he got off the stage. And I went up to him and I shook his hand. I was like, and I just said, "You are the man." And he was like, "Me?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "You are the man." He's like, "I'm not the man, pal. There's a lot of other people out there who are the man way over me." Like, he was so humble about it and everything. And then every week afterwards, I would see him and we would sit and talk and stuff. And then he moved to California.
Not as humble.
He's still doing comedy.
Well, now he's in Austin. So he owns a club in Austin.
Yeah, the Comedy Mothership.
Yes.
Dude, that place looks awesome.
Yeah. Which I should go to. My brother lives in San Antonio, which is a 45-minute drive to Austin.
Oh, definitely.
I heard he was trying to do a podcast like this one.
Yeah.
He was trying. He couldn't get a partner as good as Keegs.
Exactly. That's what it was. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
He couldn't open the back door; it was locked. And then, but he's trying.
Gallo, I was a big Gallo fan.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yep.
And that was another one. I saw him on TV, and then he was here, and I was like, oh. And then slowly, George is like when you hear at the club with him, he's great, but he's very hard to get brought into his actual life.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
For George to.
Did you get in, or
yeah?
Or
yeah.
Are you in? I mean,
yeah. George is a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
I love him to death. He's a very good friend. I've
George
known the
is
guy
terrific.
for almost 30 years.
Yeah, I think he's terrific.
He's one of the
I'm
best
a big Gallo
comics.
guy.
I was lucky enough when I started out. He was the first person to bring me on the road with him with the road rage stuff.
Road rage, those were the days,
those
man.
Those were the best days,
those
man.
were some of the greatest moments.
So that was McNeely.
I don't care.
That was Gallo.
Gallo, McNeely, me, Landolfi, John Consoli, Hugh Murray.
Solid.
Chris Davis.
All good guys.
Rob Cividanis.
Right.
That's how I met Kathy Arnold. They brought her
Oh,
in
yeah.
on a couple.
Yeah, that we did all these four-waller like bar shows and
It
stuff,
was
and just had a blast.
hardcore,
Yeah,
real like. I mean, it was. We were doing a show at this bar, and it was like on the Islip Terrace, Central Islip border, and the bathroom, like they had to walk past us to get to the bathroom, and everybody's coming out of the bedroom like, "Oh, these guys are great!" Like everybody's coming out of the bathroom just wiping.
was that the double R?
Yep.
Exactly.
Wiping blow up their nose and stuff.
There was like a biker bar, and the bikers used to set their stools up right in front of the stage.
Yeah.
And it would be like four of these big giant bikers with beards, and they would just look at us like this.
Just stand
and
there
fucking just
looking
stare
at
us,
you.
and just to fuck with us, just to mess with us.
Yeah.
That's
and dude, it
hilarious.
was
We were at another place. It was in Medford. It's now a restaurant, but it used to be like a bar. And McNeely, some lady was heckling him from the bar, and McNeely said she was Indian, and she was like, "I'm Guyanese," and he's like, "That's even worse," something like that. And her boyfriend jumped up and ran. There was no stage. He just, and he was right in McNeely's face, and he's like, "What are you gonna do?" And McNeely's like, "Go sit down." This and that. So the way it was set up, where the stage was, to the right of the stage was a door that went to the outside and everything. So I had it all set up. I was going to go up there and stick the guy right in his kidneys.
Right. What a
and
shiv. Yeah.
Run out that door, throw my knife in the sewer,
Yeah.
come back, and then be like, hey, what's going on? Like,
exactly.
but it got broken up before any of that happened.
The
But
stabbing.
That's how the road rage shows were. Like, it was all... And everybody's like, why are you guys doing this? Like, why would you put yourself through it? And then we would come to a real club, like Governor's, and blow the roof off the place. Because
Confidence.
we were out just grinding our teeth at these hell gigs.
And we come here, a beautiful club with 300 people in the audience who are there for a comedy show. And like, this is fun. This isn't dangerous. And
you know, worry about getting shot or anything.
You build a thick skin at those things. But we had fun too, because it was us, and we were such a close-knit group of guys. And it was just a good time, and I don't care what I ever do in comedy. I don't think I'll ever have fun times like that with those guys. You know, like you guys.
That was such great times back in the day.
This isn't fun every week.
I mean, no.
It's a different kind of fun, Mark.
Yeah, I'm never gonna have a fun podcast like this.
Right.
Yes.
But I mean, like going out and I don't know. I'm trying to
very
fucking dig myself out of a.
Who out of all? So you've worked with so many comics.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot, Mike and I. I mean, I'm a huge Keith Anthony guy.
Love Keith.
I became good friends with Keith, and to me, that was surreal. Almost like you're talking about Rogan or Gallo.
Yeah.
For me, I used to, before I started doing stand up, I'd follow Keith around.
Right.
And I would go to mics and things like that to watch him. And then when I actually when I became friendly with him and I started to perform with him, it was like surreal. So, do you have guys like that? Like your guys, your top guys?
There was two guys that made me want to be a comedian. One was Eddie Murphy. The other one was Joey Cola.
Never heard of either one of them.
Yeah. The other one was Joey Cola. I love Joey. I was still am, but a huge fan of Joey.
So well before you started doing stand-up, you would go see Joey?
Yep, before I was doing stand-up, I would go see Joey wherever he was performing and stuff like that. And to now actually be friends with the guy who made me want to become a comedian. That's like one of... People don't realize, like, they think that you're doing this and like, oh, you must be making a ton of money. I'm like, no, we get paid,
Right.
with
Mozzarella sticks.
nachos and Snapple.
Drink tickets.
So
So
it's like
and
that.
lemonade.
And lemonade. But to have something like that, how many people can say like the person that inspired them to do what they're doing is now their friend?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like I can call Joey and be like, yo, I'm going fishing. You want to come? He'd be like, oh, say what's going on, but and it's awesome. And just to be like that makes it all worth it. I couldn't care less about monetary situations or anything like that.
Right.
Just
Exactly.
to have that.
Now, how often you go fishing with Eddie Murphy?
And, see, it's kind of hard because you got to get him in between trannies.
That's hilarious. It's funny. You ask that question to a lot of comics, and you hear
How
Joey's
many
name.
times they went fishing with Eddie Murphy?
Right. That's right.
You know that old question?
Not since
That old
48
question.
hours have we been. No, but people will say Joey's name. Obviously,
Yeah.
you hear Joey's name. You hear Peter Bales' name. Those are the two that I'll get most.
Bales, I mean, before Stand Up You and everything like that, he taught me a lot of stuff. I owe a lot of gratitude to Peter Bales.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot of stuff. And he would pick me all the time on Tuesday. He would put me up first all the time.
Yeah, nice.
And I was going, what, Pete, why are you doing? Did I piss you off?
It's a compliment.
Like, why are you doing this? And he's like, this is how you're going to get better.
Yeah.
This is how you're going to learn.
It's
You're
a
going to go up there
compliment.
first. And he's like, you're going to do great. He's like, and this is how you're going to get better. And it was. He taught me so much, Pete. He taught me.
So I love that you just mentioned the put up first thing.
Yeah.
Because so when I started doing stand up in 2010, I took the comedy class with Bales, Lazarus, and Walker.
Right.
But I wasn't doing it with the intention of doing stand up. And then
Still isn't.
so what was the point of doing it then?
So what happened was a very close friend of mine had signed us up for the class.
Oh,
I
okay.
was always the class clown. I was
Yeah.
like, Herschman's so funny on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. This is 14 years ago. And he signed us up for this class. And I learned how to hold a mic and not pull the cord and all the fucking things. And long story short, the graduation show came and my father, rest in peace, was in front of me and my mother and the place was packed with my family and friends. And I remember I tell people it was the second time in my life that I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. The first time was when my first daughter was born and I felt like I was on top of the hospital watching down.
Right.
And then being on that stage, I felt like I was watching myself.
Yeah.
So I come off stage, 6 minutes of the worst stand-up comedy ever. Although, if you listen, like you watch the
You do
videotape
well,
on
'cause you got
YouTube,
100 people
I mean,
on,
I took the fucking place down just because it was them,
Right.
And so I didn't, but I felt like I had climbed the mountain and I was done and that was it.
Yeah.
And then Ginny Lund had called me, or Ginny Petrie at the time. He wasn't married yet.
Yeah.
She's like, you want to do a spot on Sunday at Governor's? And I'm like, for what? She's like, no, that's what you do. Like, that's what happens. Like,
That's how it works.
It's like someone requested you on a show and you want to come down. And it kind of took a life of its own on. And then this was back when I was doing comedy a lot. I don't, the show's kind of taken my time, I guess, or it's my excuse to not do stand-up, I guess. But I was doing shows fairly frequently. And Truson was the one who was booking the shows here and managing things for years. And I would come here and Ginny would tell him that I was on the show, and 99 out of 100 times Herschman's up first. And I used to think it was like a thing that to punish
Like
me.
he didn't like you or
And it
something.
might have been that case, which
It
is
could have
fine,
been.
but it didn't really matter because ultimately it really did. So I would be on a show with Joe Starr, Chris Monty. You might get a pop in from if you were here with who else would have been here back then? I mean. Roach was kind of into
Roach
it by
was still
then,
kinda new
so I'd be on
and
killer shows.
Downey and stuff.
Yeah, Downey, Joe DeVito, Jessica Curson, killer fucking comics, and me up first. And I would be pacing around that room, white-lipped, heart pounding out of my chest.
Yeah.
But you go up there in front of 300 people, and you know that they're here to see legit comics.
Yeah.
You're working your balls off to do well. And it did make me a much better comic.
It
and
makes you a better comic, and as somebody who's produced shows and run and makes lineups.
Yeah.
I never want I always want a strong comic to go up first, so it's a compliment.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I never took it as it is what I was just happy to be on the show. I was asked to be on it and to be performing with these guys and girls who were all killers was very flattering to me. And so I think that that makes you better much quicker when you're thrown into that like that. Because you go into a show with 10 comics and you're in the middle of Star and Monty, like that laughter is just you're riding a wave.
You're just the buffer in between.
That's right. But you go up first after a quick 5-minute MC spot.
Yeah.
You go up there, they're ready for comedy.
Yeah,
you better fucking bring it, or you're gonna eat a bag of dicks.
That's right. That's why I used to love when Pips was open. Pips in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. Because if you did well there, you knew you were doing well.
Yeah.
Because the crowd was so rough over there.
Yeah.
But it was a great club, great people. But if you did well there, you knew that something was good going on.
So when you say they were a rough crowd, like they were a smart comedy crowd and they were expecting you to be good, or they were just assholes?
No, they just didn't. They knew their shit.
Okay.
And they were just like, you're not going to come in here and
hack it up.
Like, we're going to know. Yeah,
Right.
and I've seen it where a guy does, and you hear somebody from your audience, that's such and such's joke. Get off the stage.
So sharp comedy.
So
we talk about that all the time. How it's much better to perform in front of a sharp crowd that expects good writing and not hacky shit about plastic on the furniture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or online dating.
Like when I used to work at Greenwich Village Comedy Club a lot. It was a lot of people that were there to see good comedy, because most of the people that went to Greenwich Village Comedy Club, which is right next door to the Comedy Cellar, were people that didn't get into the Comedy Cellar because it's always sold out. So now you're in front of a hostile crowd that didn't get into the Comedy Cellar, so they're pissed. But they know comedy because they were going to like the best comedy club in the city. And it's a tough. And I always said, if I could do well here, you could do well anywhere.
Yeah,
because they know comedy and they're there to see you bring it.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that
Tony just retired.
I didn't. It's over.
There's a loud bang outside.
So. I didn't realize it at the time when it was happening. I used to be. I'd be like, why does he do that every time to me? Every time I'm up first.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, I was like, bring it. Let's do it. Like put me up first.
That's what you're learning. And that was when I said that to Peter. That's the only time I ever complained about my spot. Like I've done shows now where guys are like, we're gonna put you up first. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And then people are like, what? You're going up first? Yeah. Well, do you have to leave? No.
Yeah.
Well, why are you letting them put you up first? That's the spot they gave me. What
spot they
I'm
gave
grateful
me?
to be here. They asked me to come and perform at the club. I don't care what spot they give me.
And so the thing is, with you now at this point, you know that they're going to put you up first, and you're going to tear ass, and then
that's it.
Now someone's got to follow you.
That's what pushes you. When like now, if they say you're up first, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to make this hard for everyone.
I'm gonna bury whoever's up second.
Blow this place up and make it. And you'll never hear me come off stage like, yo, I killed. Like I will never say that.
No.
Yeah.
I laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
When I see guys, and I hate to be like this, but like guys be like maybe 3-5 years under the belt, and they come off stage like, yo, I killed.
Yeah.
You did 6 minutes.
So you know Eric Half?
Like Eric Half gets away with it.
Yeah, because we love him. Yeah.
Like I get,
and he does kill though, so he's right.
Oh yeah.
I get douche chills though, because I remember when I was like 2 years in, I would write on Facebook, "You killed it tonight at Governor."
Oh yeah.
You know,
see, when I started,
people thought you were such a dick when you did that.
I know, absolutely.
When I started, there was no social media.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't have it. And it's not every comic does that. Like when I started, I was like, I'm gonna reinvent the wheel up there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show these people shit they ain't never seen before. Blah blah. And then reality hits you in the face.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you got to bomb.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bombing keeps you humble.
That's
and
right.
That's what it. But every new comic goes through that, where they're just like total asshole.
I know.
And older guys know, all right, this is the phase.
Yeah, this is the guy.
He'll come out of it soon.
I love what you just said, Tony, about bombing makes you better.
Yeah.
I think until
You're the
you bomb,
best.
I'm so good at it. No, fortunately, I don't have a lot of experiences, but the ones that I do, I would say leading up to the first time that I bombed, I was always afraid of bombing.
Yeah.
And then once it happened, I thought it was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Actually.
You know
Now
what
I
I mean?
have I have fun with it. I'll call it out.
Yeah.
I'm eating my dick up here right now.
If I'm shit in the bed, I will definitely bring it up. You can't just ignore it thinking that you did well.
Yeah.
Because, you just bring it up and you should. And now I was doing shows and I was just eating it. Yeah. And I was just plowing through and I set up for the next joke and the punch is coming and I'm like, you're all going to love this one. And, and of course nobody did.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him with this one,
Yeah.
and then
After the first time it happened to me, I wasn't doing comedy for that long, maybe like a year and a half, and I was at a fundraiser at Brokerage in Belmore, and it was a girl I grew up with who had requested me on the show, and she's like, it's going to be a sold out packed crowd at the Brokerage. Now, that's my first club I ever performed at, so obviously I love the Brokerage,
Yeah.
as I'm sure both of you guys do. It's
yeah.
it's a great
One of my
room
favorite
to
clubs,
perform
yeah.
comedy. It's intimate. You're
Now,
stage.
now it is.
Yeah. Well,
Back when Mr. Smith owned it.
I never performed with he had actually left, and these guys took over.
Yeah,
So
you got lucky.
Yeah, I never performed there back then. But so she told me it was gonna be a packed house, and I was like, packed house at the Brokerage. You really have to be bad to not do well, right? Because it's usually easy, right?
Yeah.
So I pull my car up thinking that it's gonna be, totally packed out, and I get the first spot right in front of the club
Never
at
a
like
good
7
sign.
o'clock.
Yeah, never
and
a
I'm
good
like,
sign.
fuck.
Wow, that's
I'm
not
like,
good.
this isn't good. And I get into the club, and none of the parents showed up. There was like 7 baseball dads. It was a Cooperstown fundraiser.
Okay.
And it was 7 guys in there, and the crowd total was probably about 15 or 18.
Okay.
And they could not have hated me anymore. My act is really more conducive for like PTA moms love my shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
go up there, and it was just horrible. And so I get off stage, and Brian McKenna goes on after me, and the first thing he says is, "How you guys doing?" And he's like, "A lot better now that the other guy's not here." Someone yelled at me from the audience. And then that was the moment where I actually laughed, and I'm like, "That's pretty funny."
Yeah, it's funny,
And
What's your best heckle you ever got?
I got
What's the
heckled.
best heckle?
I'll tell you.
What they said. What was the best?
I'll tell you right now. It was Eric Haft booked a little wine bar in Huntington called Bin 56.
I played there. Yeah.
So we did. It was me, Bales, DiDomenico, and Haft, and I was doing one of my chunks about my wife and how she's this and that and other thing, and some drunk PTA mom in the back starts saying, "You shouldn't fucking talk about your wife that way," and she just starts tearing my ass apart. Out of nowhere, my sister, who had never seen me perform, but she lived in Huntington, is in the back of the room, and she yells out, she's like, "No, his wife is like that," and she defended me.
Well, she defended you.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was it. So I wasn't equipped to heckle back or handle a heckler.
How about yourself?
Best heckle, and it wasn't my heckle. It was my cousin Sal's. Heckle. We were in Jersey, and it was a Stern. Like Bob Levy put it together. So it was all these Stern people in it.
Was it like a Whack Packer show?
High Pitch Eric was on it.
All right. So High Pitch Eric,
Sal and I wrote like 5 minutes for High Pitch Eric to do, and if he would have done it right, it would have been great.
Killed.
But he's as dumb as the day is
He's
long.
a high pitch Eric.
So he started doing it, and it didn't work. So then he was like, "Oh, you guys here in Jersey, you like the Nets?" And and then he's like, "Yeah," and he just starts machine gunning the N-word. N-word this, N-word that, N-word, and everybody's like, ah. So, and then he brings up Sal. He goes, "And now the guy who wrote all my material, Sal Gavinelli." So now Sal goes up and like, oh. So Sal had a bit that he used to do about he liked to go to handicapped people's garage sales because the shoes were always like new, right? Right? So he's doing the joke. Little does he know, there's a woman there in a wheelchair who's like the darling of the town. Like everybody in the town knows her and loves her and everything.
Loves her sneakers.
And her husband is sitting next to her, and he's got a hook hand.
Oh, wow.
Right? So he goes into the bit, and the whole crowd is like, "Wow!" And he's like, "Take it easy." This. And he goes, "All right, let's go on to the next one." And all of a sudden, you just hear from the back somebody go, "Shut up!" That's the best thing ever. He's like, "So you guys ever do this?" Shut up!
Oh, that's hilarious. That's so funny. That's great.
Oh,
So funny. What about you, Mikey? You've been heckled a million times.
I have. Probably one of the funny. I was doing a show and I was talking about my family being Irish. My dad's side of the family is Irish, and talking about drinking and stuff. And a guy with an Irish brogue in the audience you're disparaging Irish people, blah, blah. And he calls me to fight him outside.
And it was Mick Thomas.
He was up next. And as I'm going outside to talk to this guy, he stumbles and trips because he was so fucking drunk.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're
he's Irish. What do you expect?
What's this? He's yelling at me for calling Irish people drunk, and this guy was one of the drunkest people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And
so that was it. So you just
that's pretty much it. We didn't fight or anything. My dad was there. He comes outside. Like we were all gathered around.
The guy tripped and fell, knocked himself out, and then everybody came out, and he was like, "I told you,
That's it.
I told you to mess with me.
See what happens?
you fucking potato eater.
See what happens when you fuck with my kid.
Fucking ass.
This is what you get. I didn't want to do this. You made me do it."
Now say
But
sorry to
basically
my
he's just
dad.
like, how dare you call Irish people drunk? And this was one of the drunkest people I've ever seen in my life.
and that's saying a lot coming from you.
Yeah, exactly. I
That's
have a
crazy.
mirror.
Yes.
I love what you mentioned Peter Bales before, and as far as and you were talking about getting to know people that you've watched. So
Yeah.
I was probably, I guess it was like a month and a half into my stand-up university class, and I used to see Bales and Walker always going every week off to the diner.
Yeah, that's stable. I miss that. Nobody does it anymore.
So they would do it, and then it would, and I think like at the time George Reaney was around.
Yeah.
He's not really around anymore, and I always wanted to
my
go.
cousin married his daughter.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, she's a beautiful girl.
Yes,
yeah,
she is.
She has the stationery company.
My cousin Michael married his daughter.
Oh yeah, that was not that long ago. A few years ago, and they had a baby, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So it must have been like week 6 or 7, and Peter comes up to me, and goes, "Why don't you come to the diner with us?" And I was like, dude, it was so huge for me.
Ooh.
So I went to the diner.
It's like getting called over to Carson's table.
It's kind of like
And then
that.
they gave him the check. Here you go.
So, and that's funny. I ordered food, and it just sat there, and I just watched these guys, and like Walker would fight with Bales, and then Lazarus would yell at with Walker,
yeah.
and I couldn't believe that I was kind of
That you were
watching
part of
this.
that.
There's
And-
nothing better than, and like you said, people don't really do that
We
anymore.
don't do
I've
that
had
anymore.
It was
two
great.
unforgettable experiences, like going to diners after shows, and I was still pretty new. One of them was with Richie Minervini, having a dinner with him
That's
after
great.
a show.
That's guy gave me my shot. He's
yeah.
the guy who gave me my
So that's
first
the other
spot.
guy, Richie Minervini,
Minervini,
Cola,
yeah,
the
who's
God-
the-
the
yeah,
Godfather
Peter
of
Bales,
long
Godfather.
comedy.
And I'm just listening to this guy, and I wasn't eating because I'm listening to this guy who has so much information
Of
and
course,
so many
yeah.
great stories. All the stories, he was going back to the early 80s telling me stories
Right.
and stuff. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah, he had the-
obviously.
And then Mitchell Walters also being in
Oh, yeah.
was
Rest in
awesome.
peace, Mitch
'Cause
Walters,
he's
yeah.
another one. He used to be best friends with Kinnison. They used
Yeah,
to be the Outlaws of Comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
On
Yeah.
the road
Carl
together.
LeBeau,
Carl, may
LeBeau,
rest in
yeah,
peace. We just
yeah.
come in.
Yeah.
I actually had got one of the greatest opportunities. I got to open for Robert Schimmel.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. For people who don't know Robert Schimmel, he passed away too young, and he's one of the greatest comics
Guy beat
ever.
cancer to die in a car
Guy in
accident.
a Carson, exactly.
But one of the best comics ever, as far as I'm
Fantastic
concerned.
comic.
Yeah.
So I went into the place we were playing at. We all had our own green room.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into his green room, and I just wanted to, great to meet you. I'm a huge fan. I'm your opening act. I just want to say it's great to meet you. I'm a huge fan of your stuff and everything like
Yeah.
that. And I was like, and he was like, where you going? And I said, I was going to go in my green room.
My room, yeah.
And hang out. And he was like, oh, you don't want to hang out here? And I was like,
Wow.
really? He was like, I mean, if you want to go to your green room, that's fine. He was like, if you got something you want to do,
Yeah.
I go, no, I would love
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
to
Yeah.
sit and hang. And we sat
Wow.
for because for some reason, it was at the downtown. For some reason, you had to be there like an hour and a half before showtime. I don't know why.
You just did
Dave
it.
Glicker was like, you gotta be here. All right. So we sat. I sat with him for an hour and almost 2. And he was just telling me all these stories and everything.
fucking cool is that?
And it was just
So he was just a terrific dude.
one of the greatest guys ever.
And one of the
He
greatest.
really
I
was.
was such a big fan of him. 2 opportunities I had to see him. I was supposed to see him open. He was not open, but he was with Chappelle and Brewer. They were doing a show at the Garden, and I got there just. We had traffic and stuff. I got there just after Schimmel ended. I missed his whole set, and then I had tickets to see him here at Governor's. And this was my first experience with Joey Cola. Schimmel had to cancel. He was sick, and Cola filled in for him. And I was very, very disappointed that I'd never wanted to see Kimmel.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I ever saw Cola, and he destroyed.
Monster.
He destroyed 300 people that
Schimmel,
were there.
not Kimmel.
Did I say Kimmel?
You said Kimmel.
Oh, no, Jimmy. You guys
you
talking
were
about Jimmy
yeah,
Kimmel?
yeah, of course. Yeah, Jimmy Fallon, welcome for Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, the guy from so so Schimmel had to cancel.
Yeah.
And
Cancer.
Kimmel cancer.
He had the cancer.
Mike,
What did Joe Fradella put in
What did he put in there?
you need a thesaurus?
What did he put in? There's no sugar in there. What did he put in it?
That's it.
You had 300 people here that wanted to see Robert Schimmel, and nobody knew until just at showtime that he wasn't going to make it, and Cola was filling in. And still just leveled this room. And
Of course he did. It's Joey Cola.
I became a fan of Cola right then. You know, I was young. I was in high school. That was one of the first comedy shows I was at.
I
and
love
now I'm friends with him. It's cool.
with Robert Schimmel.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Joey
Yeah.
Cola.
Yeah,
No, Jimmy Kimmel.
With Robert Schimmel.
We're talking about Jimmy
He busts
Kimmel.
out the Ouija board. That's all to Schimmel.
I love that story about Schimmel, and it reminds me. So in your mind, you're blown away by what a nice guy he was.
And just
so
the fact that this person is actually paying attention to me and talking with me. But you know, you got to keep it cool. You're like,
sometimes you feel like you're overstepping your
bounds. I heard those LA people are really. And in my head, I'm like, shit.
that's crazy.
Like sometimes you feel like you're overstepping your bounds, even going to say hi to him.
Yeah.
And then he wants you to come and hang out with him. That's the coolest fucking thing in the world.
I was so nervous going in there because I was like, oh my god, if I piss this guy off.
I only have two experiences like that for me. The first show that I was ever on, the first professional show, Haft hired me for that room out in Riverhead, that hotel.
Oh yeah, the hotel out there.
What was it called? It was a nice hotel, and it had
Blue or something like that.
Downstairs
Indigo
room
or something.
Indigo, the Indigo Hotel. That was it. And so it was me, Joey Giarratano, Eric Haft, and Vince D'Antona, the late Vince D'Antona.
Love Vince.
And so I go up, I do my set, and Vince, he walks up to me after my set. He's like, "That was fucking great."
Oh,
and I was like,
Vince
and
was
it
the
wasn't,
best.
but it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't, but he was.
But that was back. He was
so good.
He was still drinking back then. Though,
I don't know. No. The puppet was though. The puppet was loaded.
The puppet was like, "You fucking suck."
George was loaded.
The first time I did a show with Vince, I was sitting at the bar, and I ordered a shot. Like, just wanted to do a quick shot.
Shooter.
So-called lime shot. Bam.
Yeah.
So I'm over there now. This is the first time meeting him. I just this, and then I turned for a minute, and I come back, and our shot glass is back, and it's full. And I'm like, what? And Vince goes, "Hey, I got that for you." Okay, I go, "Oh, okay, I'm paying." And no, I turn around to do something, look back, it's full again. And I'm like, dude, I got to drive home. Right. He's like, "You can't fly with one wing. Come on, let's go."
What a great guy. He was a great guy. The other story I have, which I think this is, again, this guy just being a wonderful human being. I did a guest spot at the Brokerage on a Thursday night. Or maybe it was I don't remember. It was a Friday night. Carl LeBove was there. Oh, this is when he was here, and he was living with Mark and Ginny for a period of time. And I knew that he was in the showroom when I was performing. So I did pretty well. I come off. I go outside. I remember because I needed some air. I was like overwhelmed by the whole thing. Yeah. And he follows me outside, and he starts to repeat the bit that I closed with that he apparently loved, whether he did or not.
He's just trying to improve it
because the bit did well. But the bottom line was, he's like, "That was a great bit." Yeah. And I was like, "What's happening to me here?" I knew who Carl LeBove was very well. Yeah. I knew that he had, with Kinnison, and he was like the Comedy Store and everything. Yeah. And I remember feeling like it was such a surreal experience to be spoken to by this god, this comedy god. Yeah. So there are some really incredible people that you'll meet along the way on this path.
Right. Unfortunately, the general public doesn't know who they are.
That's right.
When anybody asks me, "You're a comedian? Yeah. Who's your favorite comic?" "Oh, you've never heard of him."
Never heard of him. Exactly.
I'll say Keith Anthony every time. That's what I usually say.
100%. My experience with that was Kevin Meaney.
Dude,
what a nice guy. I was such a fan of him since I was in junior high.
I think he was a meanie.
You would think so. He's not meanie at all. He's very nice. It should be Kevin Nicey. It should have been his name.
Kevin Sweetie? Kevin Kindy?
But I had gotten close with the people at Bananas in Hasbrook Heights.
Yes.
And Denise that booked it knew that I loved Kevin Meaney, and she's like, "I got you a weekend with Kevin Meaney." And I went up, and I really had a good set. And he was standing, he watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
I walk out the door, and he just like does like this sign, like a home run, like hit a home run.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
does
nice.
that whole thing, and talking to me about my set. We went, and he's like,
No, that was bunt.
you should have bunted so I could drive you.
That was
into-
equivalent of a bunt. A sack bunt is what you just did. You sack bunted on stage. for
Schimmer
15
watched
minutes.
everybody too. That
Yeah?
was on the
Oh,
show.
really?
What a class act.
He went into the sound booth.
Yeah.
And he watched who? Crumbs. He watched
Oh,
Crumbs, and then me, and then.
Oh wow, what a show! You.
I mean,
Crumbs and
obviously
Kimmel,
he's watching Killer after Killer
again.
there.
I fucking said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Danny Aiello used to have a room in Hoboken.
Yeah,
Danny
Jersey,
Aiello,
yeah,
Danny
yeah.
upstairs, and I did a spot there. I mean, first to meet Danny Aiello and you become
Hello.
friends with him is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Hello, legend.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And my father, who nothing phases him at all, he goes, "Hey, you gonna go see the Aiello tonight?" I go, "Yeah, I gotta go do a spot at his." All right, when you get there, you make sure you tell him that movie 29th Street. I fucking love that movie. That's great. All right, and I went.
It was a great movie.
I went to Daniel. I go, my dad wanted me to tell you that he loves 29. And I go, and coming from my dad, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
He loves 29th Street. And he was
Yeah.
like, and every time I saw Danny after that, Tony, how's your dad? How's you doing?
Yeah.
But
Unreal.
I did my spot. I got off. Now, part of my ritual is when I get done, I got to have a cigarette. So
Yeah.
I get run outside. It's like having sex.
Yeah.
So I run down the stairs. I go outside. I light up a cigarette. I'm having a smoke, and I hear behind me, "Very nice job up there, young man. I really enjoyed what you did." And I turned around. It was Freddie Roman.
Wow.
I was like, "Holy shit, Freddie Roman!" Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, "Can I get a picture?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem."
Awesome. How cool is that?
Yep.
Mike doesn't have any stories.
I don't have
like that.
anything like that.
Here, I did it here. And I was at the bar, and Burt Young came up to me. Burt Young was in the audience, so he came up.
That happened to me at the
And he was like,
brokerage.
"That was great stuff, kid." I was like, "Oh, thanks."
I ran into Burt Young at the brokerage when he didn't tell me I had a great set. Terry McNeely told me I did well one time.
Terry's a good man.
Oh, that means you know he's drunk a lot, right? Okay.
That's our boy, Terrence Marie McNeely. That's our boy.
Terrence Marie.
We have ripped through this hour. We're actually a little bit over.
Wow, we went over. I'm sorry.
So
That's all right.
no, this has been
What a
fantastic. I have to remember because I didn't talk about it last week, but now it's even more special. Before I want to hear what Tony has coming up, and then you, and then we're going to split. My dear friend Dom Fontana and the girls from Massapequa Little League Softball. Dom's the coach. Another guy named Richie's the manager. They went to the Little League World Series. They made it to the semifinals on Friday, and then this past Sunday they won the entire Little League Softball World
Good for
Series.
them.
The first, it was on ABC TV.
Wow.
Friday was on ESPN.
Nice.
They've been all over the news. They're getting interviews all over the place. They're the first team in New York history to ever win the Little League Softball World
And they're
Series.
from Massapequa.
Massapequa.
So
That's
I might
right.
take the sting of Rex Steelman away.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, he killed all these people, but these kids won
Yeah,
the World
exactly.
Series.
Yeah,
It was
take a little-
amazing. So congratulations to my dear friend Dom, his
Nice
wife
job.
Stephanie, Alexis, his daughter, who's a starting pitcher and the shortstop, and little Logan, her brother, who's been the biggest fan there is on the TV all the time, rooting for his sister. So congratulations to the entire Little League
job, girls.
championship team from Massapequa. All right, Tony, what do you got coming up before we?
All right, this is the only gig I'm going to plug because it's a very important gig.
Okay.
Sunday, September 10th at McGuire's Comedy Club, we're doing a fundraiser for Mike Dillon.
Okay.
Mike Dillon's medical bills have just gotten the best of him, and,
Okay.
and he's up. There's a big fundraiser. There was a ton of us that are going to be on it.
Okay.
It's at McGuire's Comedy Club, 7 o'clock, Sunday, September 10th. So
Now, are those tickets going to be at govs.com or privately
Yes.
through you? Or?
No, govs.com.
Okay.
It's straight through govs.com.
All right. So for those who don't know, Mike Dillon is a comic booker who's got multiple issues, diabetic related. I didn't know about this, but apparently they're looking to raise some money for him.
Yeah.
So govs.com, Sunday, September 10th at McGuire's in Bohemia. You're not going to want to miss this. Sounds like it's going to be a crazy lineup. So good.
Great.
Thanks
I
for
know
mentioning
me
that.
and McNeely are on it. So it
Right
should be
there,
good.
it's a home run. Yeah. What do you got, Mikey?
August 26th, right here in the Giggle Room at Governor's. Me and Jeff Bosey are celebrating our birthdays.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
We're having a little birthday celebration
Mine's
here.
Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well,
And then,
exactly.
yeah.
You know when my birthday is?
Yeah, I know when your birthday is.
Get out of here.
Of course, I'm weird with
That's
birthdays.
creepy as
It
shit.
is. I know. Yeah. You know what it is? I know August birthdays.
Well, hold on.
Because I have an August birthday.
And I do.
Yeah, yours was
My
last week.
birthday was last week, and he got me a cameo from Tony Walker. So that sucked.
How did you get that? That was hard to
That
get.
sucked.
But I know my friend's August birthdays. Like my
Yeah.
friend Brant, one of my best friends from high school,
Brant.
came to my show this past Saturday night here on the patio at Governors.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Brant in years. But we grew up together. We played
Yeah.
lacrosse and football together. And I'm like, oh, you got a birthday coming up next week. He's like, I haven't seen you in 12 years. And you remember, but I remember his birthday's August 19th. And I just remember August.
Creepy,
Good.
man.
So Jeff Bosey's birthday is August 26th. Mine's 27th. So August 26th will be here in the Giggle Room. I think Carrie Karavis is going to be closing it out.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
Killer.
Love him.
And what do you got, Mr. Walker?
September 17th, you can see a great, hilarious murder mystery show at the brokerage. We got, and then McGuire's in October, and we'll be back at McGuire's and the brokerage in December doing holiday versions of our murder mysteries.
Nice.
Awesome.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, guys. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. Make sure you share and make sure you watch and you laugh and you tell other people how much you love us.
Like, share, and follow.
We will not be here next Tuesday. Again, Tony had told us that he doesn't care about the show or how well we'll progress. So he's going to be in Wildwood, New Jersey or some bullshit trip.
I'm going to be in Wildwood.
I just got back from Wildwood. It was awesome.
Where are you going to be, Tony?
I'm going to Kentucky.
Okay, even worse. Even worse.
Yes.
Yeah,
So we'll be
that's not
back
as
the
good as
week after
Wildwood.
that. We'll have a lot of fodder. I think at this point it'll just be me and Mikey and Tony that next week or 2 weeks from now. In the interim, watch the old shows. There's 73 of them. Laugh your ass off. And as always, we love you and we thank you for watching. Take care.
Welcome to Hershey and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m.